And welcome back to Talk of the Town.
With the warm weather upon us, you may be looking to fix up your home, but buyer beware when it comes to hiring a contractor. And to help us take a look at what we need to know to protect ourselves, we have Peggy Penders from the Better Business Bureau. Welcome back, Peggy.
Thank you. Good to be here.
A lot of pitfalls when you're looking for people to help get the home in order for the summer.
Mm-hmm. You gotta watch that they're helping you instead of helping themselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that want to take advantage, not necessarily help you to get your home in shape.
Unfortunately, it's true. There are a lot of people that are looking to help themselves and not necessarily follow through on what they said they could do. So there's a couple of things that we want consumers that are watching to pay attention to. And there are thousands of people looking for different types of contractors, whether it's a home improvement, something on the outside, maybe it's your lawn, maybe it's your roof, you know, all kinds of activity right now at the Better Business Bureau. Folks looking for information about businesses. So that's one thing that they can do. And we really encourage anyone that's looking to work with someone that has an established track record, you know, turns to the Better Business Bureau because we have so much information to share. So make sure that they are authentic, they're local, that you're not just relying on like a word of mouth situation. We have so many stories at the Better Business Bureau where maybe someone in your neighborhood, maybe it's a family friend is making a recommendation, and that's great. Maybe it's a small job, and you know, if something goes bad, it's not maybe going to disrupt that family relationship, but you don't want to take that risk, right?
I think we need to remind ourselves as a consumer that the Better Business Bureau really is a part of our research when we're going out there looking for someone to work on our home or our property.
Well, it really is.
Well, and there are a set of rules that are just, you know, basically common sense. I mean, number one rule, and I think this is where you start, verbal commitments, verbal promises, verbal contracts, if you will, really don't matter. And there is no, you can't rely on a verbal promise.
Well, you can't, and we're the city of good neighbors, so we want to handshake and it's all going to be, you know, all good. But unfortunately, you need everything in writing. You need to be able to understand that contract too. So you've got to look at all the details, make sure that you're not responsible for anything beyond, you know, this quote that you've been given. If something goes wrong along the job, what's going to happen? It's very, very important not to pay 100% upfront and never, ever, ever use cash. We have so many stories. If you were to go through the Better Business Bureau and just look at some of these business reviews and review some of the complaint information, which is now publicly available, you're going to see some of those stories, and it just, you know, pulls at your heartstrings because you've used cash. Maybe the contractor wasn't on the up and up or just was in a bad way, and unfortunately wasn't able to complete that job. No way to get that cash back.
Well, listen, very, very, very careful. If you are a homeowner out there, if you need help, do not, under any circumstances, feel embarrassed to be a good business person. Nobody will ever fault you for having a good business sense and saying, I want to do this the right way. If somebody is going to be responsible and be the right person to help you out, they're not going to give you a hard time for doing it the right way. And if they do give you a hard time to do it the right way, they're not the person that you want to deal with.
Get rid of them fast.
Right? Well, that's absolutely true. And then it is, you know, rapport. Do I feel, you know, comfortable with this person? You know, once you kind of welcome them into your home, if it's a big job, they might need to be there on their own. So you have to feel, you know, comfort and trust, you know, with that individual and anyone else that they're going to send in to help you with that job.
One of the things that I know that on your website you warn the consumers to look for red flags. What's a red flag?
Well, red flags really come often when you're looking at work that's needing to be done on the outside. Something that someone can see, you know, as they're kind of driving by. We have a lot of activity with door-to-door, you know, helpful solicitation, if you will. They're knocking and saying, hey, we're in the neighborhood. I see that you need such and such. And that begins the conversation. They can be very, very, you know, friendly, wonderful people that say, I can help you out. I can make you a deal. So that can be a red flag. Anything that's high pressure.
Where
You
they
know,
say, only if you sign this contract today can I give you this price. I've had that happen before.
yes, yes, anything that's
And
like
anybody
immediate.
who wants cash to do something, and if you give me cash, then I'll go and get the materials, and then I'll come back. You know, cash is never a really good idea if you can avoid it, right?
Well, it really is never a good idea when it comes to buying and paying for services, because there's no way to trace it. You don't have any protection should something go wrong. That's why your credit card is really your best friend when
Is
it
a
comes to
check
these types
or
of services.
credit card equally good, or?
Not necessarily, because checks are really like cash. They're coming right out of your checking account, and once that money is gone, it's gone. Unless you were to figure something out really quickly, you might be able to get to the bank and put a stop payment on that. But your best protection comes when you use a credit card.
Your long-term protection.
Yes.
And on your site, you talk about doing payments in part, not in whole.
Better Business Bureau wants everyone to keep in mind the 3-3-3 rule, a third at the beginning of the project, a third at the middle point of the project, and then a third when the project is really completed.
And speaking of 3-3-3, on a job that's going to cost you good, hard-earned cash, it's probably a good idea to get more than one quote on a job.
It absolutely
You know,
is.
3 quotes is not out of the realm of reasonable to get
To make sure
an
you're not being
opinion.
taken advantage of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 quotes, absolutely. Try for at least 2. 3 is really recommended. And Better Business Bureau has a free service. All of our services are at no charge, called Request a Quote. So if you see a contractor that you're interested in, you don't have a lot of information, no one's recommended them, but they look like they're all checking out for you. There's a button on our site called Request a Quote. You can hit that, give a little bit of information, and you'll hear back from that contractor.
That's nice that that comes through the Better Business Bureau. I would think that sending information to a contractor through your site would encourage them to stay on their best behavior because the Better Business Bureau is involved. Big Brother's looking over their shoulder. Kind of like that.
Well, we don't like to think of ourselves as Big Brother. We like to, really be trusted, valuable information that a consumer can use in these buying decisions. We have all kinds of information, and really one of the things that just breaks your heart is when you hear from the consumer after the fact, never turn to BBB until they had the problem, only to find out we've been reporting on this business for a number of years with, we already knew. We already knew there was kind of question marks, with these folks, and we could help you beforehand. So it's very important. Check with BBB, do the 3, quotes, never pay with cash. Some very, very important things to start with, but also licensing. Licensing can be a big thing. Don't rely on that contractor only. You can call your town or municipality and confirm that they're licensed to work in your area.
And insurance. You're supposed to verify insurance, but how do I as the consumer verify someone else's insurance?
Well, the contractor should provide that for you. And you should ask that question. And if it's a very big job, what are they going to be doing with your money while they're working on it? It should be sitting in an escrow account. So you've got to be kind of really looking at the details. If the job gets bigger and bigger, and you brought up something earlier, Phil, that you need a project plan. Don't go into this blind. Really kind of think about what you want to accomplish. What is your budget? Can I trust this individual with my money? And make that plan in writing.
And there are people at the Better Business Bureau who can advise people if they have questions about this contractor or that, or if they don't have a contractor and they want to find out how to go about searching. There are a lot of resources at the Better Business Bureau that people can just pick up the phone or get on the website and get a lot of information, right?
We are available in all ways through social media, on the phone works. So we get calls every single day. We'll help you with information about contractors in your area. You can write us an email, to just inquire about businesses, and we'll send you that information.
What's the most common question you guys get from consumers?
Is this company legit?
And
That's really like the #1 question. Is this company legit? So Better Business Bureau is really here for trusted, valuable information.
are there a lot of companies out there that you just don't know about?
You know, there certainly are companies that we may not know about. If you're a very new company, we may not have a business review about your business, but we're always happy to develop those. And if we are asking for information about your company that should be publicly available, you want to make sure that they have a physical address, a phone number, being listed somewhere, you know, in a directory situation. Goes back to that legitimate, they're transparent, they're here, willingly sharing this information with the public, not just with Better Business Bureau, but with the public, so that you can verify that they're going to stand behind the contract that you're going to write with them.
Well, we'd like to thank Peggy Penders from the Better Business Bureau for being here. We're going to put up information on the screen now for anyone who'd like more information on getting in touch with the Better Business Bureau.